Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to the conversation. So today you can see I'm wearing a hoodie. That's because I'm back in cold ass London doing this video. As you guys can see, I travel around a lot, so that's the reason why you see the setup kind of change a little bit. But anyway, let's get into the topic today. So the question is Nick Wright on something for suggesting that the Clippers are not a great basketball team? So that's what I want to get into this video today. So first of all, we've done about two or three videos regarding Nick Wright, you know, talking about the Clippers, Kawhi and LeBron. That's sort of been the whole theme. And of course, we did a video with him, you know, relating to Kobe Bryant, the late and great Kobe Bryant. Now, all of you guys who follow this channel and who watch these sports shows all know that Nick Wright is the biggest LeBron James fanboy I've ever seen in my life. Like, you know, if I had to choose between him and Shannon Sharpe, it's a toss-up. Shannon Sharpe can come on TV and say, okay, listen, I give LeBron James a C grade for doing this or for saying this. Nick Wright pretty much never ever says anything negative about LeBron. Now this season, Nick Wright and some others, but he picked the Lakers to win the championship. Obviously, after the acquisition of AD, then they ended up picking up JaVale McGee. They have Dwight Howard. They picked up Danny Green. So, you know, they made a lot of good signings in the offseason after they thought that they were going to be able to acquire Kawhi Leonard, who, you know, took them for a ride, who ended up signing with the Clippers. They were able to scramble and get some good pieces, you know, with Avery Bradley and all of these great players that they have. And it seems like LeBron James has sort of injected his DNA into the fabric of that locker room. And you can see that by the level of playfulness that they have, the camaraderie that they have. Remember, when LeBron was winning his championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers, during the playoffs, you know, you saw them coming into games looking like, you know, dressed like men in black. From what I understand, LeBron was the one that was actually buying all of his teammates those suits. So LeBron tends to really have sort of this nurturing impact on his teammates, and you can see that, you know, sort of permeate throughout the Lakers locker room, and you can see how friendly the players are, which is a good thing because every leader has his own way of leading, and for LeBron it has worked to the tune of 3 NBA championships. Other leaders are not like that, like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was known to be very abrasive. He would get in teammates' faces. There's a big, you know, the big sort of the story between him and Steve Kerr getting into a fight, you know, during a scrimmage. So 2 different type of leadership styles. Now, to bring it back to my original point, you know, Nick Wright probably saw all of these things, and the fact that he's such a huge LeBron James fan, he automatically said, okay, you know what, I think the Lakers are going to win. But quite dismissive of what Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers are bringing to the table and what they have going on there. Now, you guys have to remember, before Kawhi Leonard joined that team, the Clippers were a playoff team. Now, granted, they got bounced out of the playoffs, but they got bounced out of the playoffs in 6 games by the Golden State Warriors, who had, at the time, a healthy Kevin Durant on the roster, and they were able to compete. And you saw sort of the championship grit that the team had with players like Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, Patrick Beverley, all of these guys really taking it to the Golden State Warriors and saying, hey, listen, I'm not afraid of you guys. I'm not afraid of going at you guys. So that's the type of environment that Kawhi Leonard joined. Now, if you guys have been following these games, recently the Clippers came off a loss to the Sixers, a game that they played on the road, and they lost the game, you know, going away at the, you know, towards the end of the game. They ended up losing that game. And I remember hearing sort of the reaction from Nick Wright on First Things First when he was talking about, you know, what he felt precipitated during that game. But before I go into it, just take a listen to what he said.
Let's break this all down, Nick. I'll start with you. What do you make of how this all played out?
Well, listen, I'm not surprised Philly won. They've been extraordinary at home. They can take advantage of what I will continue to sound the alarms on is a major weakness for the Clippers. Any type of interior defense whatsoever. They crushed them on points in the paint. Embiid was aggressive from the beginning. Ben Simmons was working throughout the game. And then in the fourth quarter, Josh Richardson lit on fire, and they end up winning the basketball game. So we know how good Philly can be, and I think they were playing a good but not a great opponent and a flawed opponent in the Clippers.
Now, the thing that's most alarming in that entire sort of, you know, monologue that he gave was the fact that he said the Clippers are a good but not a great team, and he spoke to the fact that they have a glaring deficiency in their interior defense. Now, I have to push back a little bit, and let me just say this. For you guys, I'm sure there's a crop of people out there that watch our videos that think, hey man, maybe I might be coming at Nick too much. What we're doing is trying to provide some balance. If Nick Wright is on TV every day saying what he believes, I have the right to provide a counterweight and say what I believe. just to draw some contrasting opinions. You're not going to have Nick Wright saying what he says every day on TV and then have me come and say it too. If that's what you want to hear, you can, listen to him. But for me, I'm giving another perspective on it. Now, for him to point to the glaring deficiency that the Clippers have on their interior defense, there's a couple of things that we have to bear in mind. Now, currently as I'm doing this video, the Clippers are the number 3 seed in the Western Conference with a 37-17 record, 2 spots behind the Denver Nuggets and the Lakers, who are in the number 1 spot. But the Clippers are also in the top 5 in rebounding. Now, it's quite interesting that they're able to do that because remember, the Clippers don't have a lot of size. Going back to Nick Wright's original point, they don't have a lot of size. They don't have a lot of bigs. They have Zubac, they have Montrezl Harrell, but that's pretty much all their size. They really have sort of a plethora of small forwards, players that are between 6'5" and 6'8". But if you look at the Lakers, they have players like LeBron, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee. One would think that they would actually be able to rebound the ball at a higher clip than the Clippers do, but they actually don't. Now, the thing that really dug at me is when he said they're good but not a great team. Now, if he thinks that the Clippers are good but not a great team, one would assume that he then thinks that the Lakers are a great team. Now, what evidence do we have to go off of that for him to say that? And this is why I think it irks a lot of people to listen to Nick Wright, because he knows how to tailor his arguments to fit his views. Now, if we pay attention to that, how can the Clippers be a good team but have a better record against plus 500 teams or elite teams than the Lakers do, and they've won 2 games against the team that he considers to be great in the Lakers, and they've played twice this season? So how is it possible that the Lakers can be better than the Clippers? Or rather, how is it possible the Clippers are not a great team, yet they've beaten better, more elite teams than the Lakers, and they beat the Lakers twice? The problem is no one goes on these sports shows and is able to debate properly. What I've noticed is that whenever people go on these sports shows, 2 things happen. One thing is, there's this fear that if they break away from the common thought, they're going to get in trouble. What you see is, if you watch a lot of people go on these sports shows and they talk and they ask them their opinion, especially former players, you can see that they have one thing that they want to say, but they kind of go with what the consensus is. And too much, they tend to lean on sort of the understanding of journalists, which is mind-blowing. You have people like Paul Pierce, Scottie Pippen, some of the greatest basketball players of all time, and they're sitting there letting these journalists sort of dictate how they should feel about the sport that these guys have played at the highest level. And this is why no one can really debate these guys properly. That's the first thing. The second thing, I don't believe that Nick Wright has people that come on the show that can think fast enough on their feet and provide counterpoints to whatever arguments that he makes. Nick Wright is good at what he does. The problem is the people that he debates against are not really that witty when it comes to debating. If you're able to pick up on what someone is saying, you can quickly be able to turn a point that he's making around rather quickly. There are only a few people now. Chris Carter was able to give Nick Wright some pushback, but whenever you start saying that the Clippers are not a great team because they lost to the Philadelphia 76ers, who have been abysmal within the last 10 games, but because they lost that one game, for you to now say they're good but not a great team, and your biggest fear is that because they don't have any interior defense, yet if they're so lackluster, if that's what he really believes, then how come they were able to beat the Lakers on 2 different occasions? And this is the reason why, I felt like I had to make this video. There's no way I'm going to sit back and let Nick Wright just go out there and say all of these crazy things, because in my opinion, the Clippers are better than the Lakers, okay? And there are other videos that I'm going to do, later for you guys that's going to really sort of illustrate why I think the Clippers have a decided advantage over the Lakers if they were to meet in the playoffs. This is just, I firmly believe that, and I'm going to do some videos to really sort of spell out why I feel that way. However, what I want to know from you guys is in the comment section is, do you agree with Nick Wright that the Clippers are good but not great? Or do you think he's smoking something and he needs to stop with all of the foolishness? Whatever you guys think, please let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified when all of our newest and hottest content comes out. Once again, this is Charles here from DreamersPro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.